What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to not the Multifamily Wealth Podcast. Fully realize that some of you may be clicking on this episode wondering how this podcast got onto your subscription page on iTunes or Spotify. And what is the Multifamily Hour podcast? How did this get on my, app? This is formerly the Multifamily Wealth Podcast, and we're going to talk about in this episode why I decided to rebrand the podcast. After 6 years, 340 episodes, over 500,000 downloads. That's how many people have downloaded episodes since we launched. And it's for a couple of reasons. This was not an easy decision to make. This is a decision that I've wrestled with for a long period of time. But ultimately, I have decided to rebrand the podcast. And fundamentally, it's going to be the same podcast at the end of the day as it relates to we're going to be bringing on guests. I'm going to be chatting with folks who are working in the multifamily sector. I'm still going to be doing solo episodes that I'll be calling multifamily minutes episodes, where I get very tactical on one very specific topic. But the reason that I wanted to at least refresh the show from a naming standpoint and a show art standpoint is that my business has changed a very significant amount since launching the podcast. I launched this, I believe, in May of 2020, like right after COVID hit. And it was a side project at the time for me because deal making had ground to a halt. Nobody was doing anything. Everybody was sitting on their hands trying to figure out, can we buy real estate right now? If we do, like, what do we got to pay for this real estate? And nobody was doing anything. So I, figured at the time, hey, I'll start a podcast, right? I just want to record conversations with smart investors, which, was selfish from I want to learn more about the business standpoint. And then also help me meet more investors that I can partner with and more folks who maybe want to invest in our deals as we started raising money. And it really just was a function of spending a whole bunch of time or a whole bunch of free time trying to figure out how to grow the business. And, it turned into, I'll just maybe humbly say, a very successful podcast. We've done a lot of episodes. I've enjoyed doing them, chatted with some amazing folks over the years, and met a lot of amazing folks through the podcast who are listeners. But the business is very different now as it relates to the business that I'm running. There was a period of time where I attempted to start a very small education business titled Multifamily Wealth Education. For those who are longtime listeners of the show or have followed me on Instagram and been on our email list for a long time, you'll remember back in 2022 creating and launching the off-market multifamily deals program, which was a very successful program for those who participated in it. Helped a lot of folks build direct-to-seller deal pipelines. That later led to starting the 7-day multifamily program, which I created to help new folks start investing in real estate and created a lot of great like course and program content that helped a lot of people invest in real estate or, start investing in real estate or buy more deals. That ended up leading to the multifamily wealth community, which was, fairly short-lived. But at the end of the day, what I realized as I worked through, all of those different programs within the multifamily wealth education umbrella was that that's not a business that I want to start and grow. And while that was happening, the core real estate business, Aligned Real Estate Partners, continued to grow and we continued to find more deals and continued to raise more money. While that business was growing, I continued to grow the property management company that we own in New Hampshire, Blue Door Living, alongside my business partner there. Now that business manages 900 units, 75% of those units, well, 70% or so of those units are for third party clients. And that's been a business that I've spent more time growing. And the multifamily wealth brand is one that I've started to just move away from, right? It's not really a focus of mine. My Instagram account when I started it was just, at multifamily wealth. It was like, hey, you grow wealth through multifamily investing. I'm likely going to be changing that. I actually haven't done it yet. That's something that I'm going to need to do here soon because I'm moving away from that branding. But at the end of the day, it's a conscious decision for me to refocus my efforts on growing the core real estate business in our property management company. And for me, it felt right to rebrand the show while making that decision. At a high level, right? Same fundamental concept for the podcast. I'm going to, on this podcast, talk about how real estate investors can start and scale their businesses and try to help LPs invest more effectively when investing with sponsors or, ideally investing alongside us in our deals. And the multifamily hour, I think, is just a little bit more of a straightforward description of what this podcast is, right? I'm going to get some guests on. We're going to spend an hour talking multifamily. And every once in a while, I'm going to record these short multifamily minutes episodes where I'm just spending my 10 to 20 minutes talking about a specific topic. So keep, don't unsubscribe to the show. Don't feel like, the content's going to change. All of the legacy episodes are still going to be on the feed. They're still going to be there for you to listen to if you're a new listener and you want to scroll back and listen to historic episodes. I think the new branding for the show from a show art standpoint is going to be, much better looking, much more up to date. And in the future, my objective is to still continue releasing great content. So, for all of you who have listened since the beginning, I know there's a lot of you who have been listening for literally 6 years, which, I mean, I can't even believe that. It's crazy to think that it's been that long that I've been doing the podcast, and 340 episodes is a mind-boggling amount of episodes. For those of you who have listened from the beginning, I mean, I really appreciate it. The only way that I maintain the motivation to do this podcast is knowing that people are listening and getting value out of it. And the only way I know that is because people will message me and let me know. And, it's much appreciated. And for the new listeners, if you found the show recently, show won't change. It's going to be the same show, same podcast, and we'll continue delivering very tactical and current events, up to date related content as it relates to multifamily investing. If you want to connect with me as well outside of just this podcast, I spent some time in this episode talking about the Aligned Real Estate Partners business and like my core real estate business. Shoot me an email, Axel, AXEL, at aligned, ALIGNED, REP. So alignedrep.com. And obviously love to help anybody out who's looking to actively grow their business or who might be interested in investing in what we do as an LP. But again, thank you all for listening over the years. Really excited to release this new brand and to launch, kind of relaunch the show. And I look forward to continuing to bring out some great content to all the listeners. Thanks for listening, though, and have yourself a great rest of the week.